Yeah, chambokoka masvikiro.
What's right, Nyati?
That's right. Mama,
Zembera.
Clips baby, atanga kutaura unoita ulili clips. CRIPFCent.
Nyati, Chihwa.
Unrehearsed.
Yeah, so today we want to talk about factorials, but we will talk about the First Amendment first. So if we get enough time, maybe we can then talk about factorials. So you have been wondering what the First Amendment is, eh?
Yeah, I think
it just came in with a bang, and it has been there. You know, it's like it's taking over the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say.
So when we are talking about First Amendment, it is like the whole of that acronym is like the collective, we can put it to say it's First Amendment. You know, when we are talking about First Amendment, we are talking about a level where you have managed to tune those words in the acronym to a certain level or a certain state where you are not stoppable in terms of performing what you are here for, like your performances or anywhere in any place that you find yourself in. You know, when you get those, you get to a state of being able to defend yourself, say anything, you know, that you want to say, because when you say it, it's not going to, it will may be offensive to other people, because that is the nature of this operation, where it is offensive in the first instances, especially for those people that are on the extremes of those things that we are looking at in the clinic and saying these things we can look at and try and you know, help people or help ourselves to adjust. So First Amendment is like when you get to that state, you have some level of knowledge or understanding of maybe the things that you want to talk about or that you want to share to people about. Okay, First Amendment, it's when I saw it first myself, it was being put across by the Americans. You know, the Americans are the ones that talk about First Amendment so much, because then they had people coming into America, and then they had to come up with the Second Amendment, where people are allowed to have guns to protect themselves. You know, that is the Second Amendment in America, because then there are some certain people that are targets of certain people or certain you know, activities. So because then when people target them because of the things that they have, maybe they are successful, they've got valuables, they've got so much money, and you can imagine when people get into a house and then they see a very prominent figure in the house, then they ask him to give them the passwords or give them the car or other valuables. So they then allowed people to have guns. It's a Second Amendment Act, and we hear them talking about it a lot to say, but then people have got guns, and the people that want to defend that position are those same people. And the clinic is also calling those people privileged people. Not privileged automatically or by chance. It's they become privileged by the way or because they find themselves ahead of everyone else. And they are very powerful, those people. They are capable of misleading people, of telling people lies, because then they use the power that they have, the power of influence. Because everyone is listening to them, everyone wants to talk to them. So they become like the law, they become like the authority,
They become immune.
They become immune, because they have got the Second Amendment protection. The money that they have is a kind of a Second Amendment protection. When you were talking about Makandiwa saying that if you are poor, you cannot protect yourself, it's the kind of protection, the Second Amendment protection. The First Amendment protection is the CRIPFCnt. That is the First Amendment, because it's accessible to everyone. You just have to be shifting. You're playing around with those words and some other. I'm sure we cannot be exhaustive. Maybe in the future we'll come up with new ones, because we want to be moving with the whatever is happening.
Continuous improvement.
So when you get those right, so you can defend yourself without money, because then you can respond to anything, And if we go onto the political scene, the journalists, the opposition parties in the politics, they are spokespersons, they talk about when they are talking about, when they are trying to put out their views, because they may not be able to harness those 8 words, those 8, what can I say,
letters.
The faculties of those 8 letters. Then they cannot protect themselves. That's when they get taken by the policeman to say, but you know what, your statement, it's a free world. You can say what you want to say because it's your mouth, it's your tongue, it's you, it's your consciousness. You can say what you want, but then what you say may cause people to behave in a certain way. So then they get arrested, because sometimes when someone says something, then people go into the street, then they destroy properties, and some of them even die. So it's because then they have not harnessed, that is what we are talking about in the clinic. It can be looked at, but that is how the clinic is putting that First Amendment across from its research and from its experiences. It is of the position